The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
This is Africa Diaspora Connect.
Join us as we take the journey from the motherland to America.
We share our experiences and learn from them.
Here is our host, Kibathi Gaturu.
Here we are again. Here we are again.
Happy Thursday again.
Happy Thursday it is. We are back live and direct, Studio 21, the home of us, the Africa Diaspora Connect, with my lovely producer here, Ms. Chrissy Cunningham. And I am your host, as usual, Kibathi Gaturu. So,
what are we talking about today?
So, this is what's been going on. Let me tell you. So, I have this platform, actually, that, it's called the Africa Diaspora Podcast, something like that. It's a WhatsApp channel. And, we basically talk about everything and anything under the sun, politics, a lot of politics. And I'm a political apathetic. I know nothing about politics for the most part because I think politics is a dirty game, but we need politics, all right? Apathy.
I thought you said politically pathetic. I am too. I have no idea what's going on.
So
apathetic.
Apathy.
Right.
And so I've been challenged before. It's like, okay, now you guys have been doing this for about 6 months, 7 months, and all we see is just Kenya. And I'm like, guys, listen, we're still in diapers. All right. Kenya is my backyard.
That's right.
So I got to start somewhere, right? I got to gain momentum somewhere. And so
we talk what we know.
And guess what? There are 54, 55 countries in Africa. So, trivia.
Yeah. I didn't know. Again.
Yeah.
Pathetic. This is me.
and so basically I have 53, 54 other countries I need to start incorporating into the podcast. So guys, we're making change and you're going to love this show because the gentleman who's going to be here today is going to bring that whole eclectic continent together.
I know.
The African unity is going to start perpetrating, so we're going to be all right. We want to be all right today.
We're branching outside of just Kenya.
We are branching outside the 254.
He is from Ghana.
You knew that already, right? But
Trivia.
he's another Black Moses doing some amazing things. You know that.
All right. Well, before we get to that, we also want to call to action all of our faithful brother and sister out there, the ADC community.
Yes.
Please share, subscribe.
Comments.
YouTube,
I get 4
Facebook.
comments, 2 comments. Guys, let's make them 40. Come on now. Let's do this thing.
Let us know what you think. Let us know what's going on.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, share. Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
We're even on Instagram, people.
Check it out.
I'm pretty sure you guys are even on TikTok.
Well,
we're so advanced. I know you're not.
You know what? I got challenged, so that's coming. That's coming. That's
look
coming.
Out.
Yeah, it's coming.
All right. So everyone, if you could do that for us, that'd be great. All the links are in the descriptions below. Click the little arrow, open it up, click all the links. I think it's time to pay the bills, though, before we get to today.
Let's pay some bills. This show is brought to you by Jenga Business Services, LLC, located in Waltham, Massachusetts. All your personal taxes, business, and nonprofit tax services. He's the man to see. SBA loans, PPP applications. Contact him at IRS at 781-799-6105. He's an IRS enrolled agent as well as an actuary. Jenga, he is the man to see. Taxation, I think, has been extended by a month. So, guys, do your taxes. Don't be like the orange man. Do your taxes. There we go.
Do it.
So.
On with the show.
Who is this
man?
Man, I have a gentleman here who is doing us, the podium here, a lot of justice. He drove all the way, 45 minutes to get here, the busiest day that he's had in a minute. Mr. Emmanuel Owusu, my brother from the continent himself, coming to grace us here at the Africa Diaspora Connect. He is going to take us on another journey altogether, the African Bridge Network. He's going to show us how to bridge and what it's all about. He is now going to give us, we used to call it the OAU, but now I think it has a different name. But it used to be the Organization of African Unity. But he's going to tell us what the new name is because I've been out of touch. Mr. Owusu, welcome to the Africa Diaspora Connect. Thank you so much, my brother. Walk us through this journey. It's all about journeys here. It's all about a journey. And this is going to be a fascinating one. So get us to the genesis.
All right, my brother.
Yes.
Thank you for hosting me.
Yes, sir.
And I will say I'm not a stranger to your show. I have already watched some shows already.
You hear that?
Yeah,
You
so-
do you hear viewers?
Wait,
Yes.
wait. But have you subscribed?
Not yet, but it's going to happen.
All right.
Thanks for the
Okay.
challenge.
Oh, I'm going to
Thanks
hold
for
you
the
to that
challenge.
after the show.
Yeah, but let me speak about journeys.
Yes.
It always have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
So our name is African Bridge Network.
Yes.
And sometimes I also get the slap that why only Africans? Are you catering to only Africans? And I say, you know what? It's always good to identify. It's always good to start from a base.
Yeah.
And then from there, you could grow and you could reach out. So I am with you, my brother.
Thank you.
You got to start from
Somewhere.
where you know.
Exactly.
Right? And then you will grow from there. So I'm hoping I will not be the only non-Kenyan on this show
Trust
moving
me,
forward.
brother, I got 54 other countries to cover, man. Let me tell you something. 54, we're doing everything.
We want to fill the lab.
Absolutely. It's happening here at the ADC. Yes, sir.
All right. So again, I am really honored to have you, to have me join you this evening. I'm going to go about how we started African Bridge Network. So there's a story I always tell. So I was minding my own business, doing grocery, and I came across an African guy. When you see an African, you can tell.
100%.
Yeah, you don't need to read about it.
Like
You can
audition,
tell.
like if you see auditions over there, I can tell. Like this, yeah, absolutely. He's as African as it gets.
So I have my own thing of engaging Africans anytime I see them.
Yeah.
So I engaged this young guy, and I said, wow, okay, who are you? It turned out he was also a Ghanaian. I asked him, how long have you been in the U.S.? 3 months. I said, great. Welcome to the USA.
Yeah.
Good. And I said, okay, now I can see you are doing grocery. You bargain groceries. That is okay, a place to start. But by the way, what is your background? He goes like, I have an engineering degree from University of Ghana.
Wow.
So, wow, gee, that is big stuff. And I said, so what is your plan? What is your plan? Where do you see yourself going? Then he started scratching his head, and it's like, I'm not sure, maybe nursing or something else. I'm like, that is intriguing. Nursing? Why nursing? And by the way, my wife is a nurse, so why nursing? If I have your degree, I will not be looking at nursing. I'll be doing something else with my life.
Seriously.
He said, the answer he gave me is what started everything. He said, that is what my friend says there is job and money.
Job security.
Right there. That is what it all started.
All these are nurses over here, like 77 of them. All these are nurses. And then when they left, they told their parents they're going to be coming to be engineers. All nurses.
So this is what it all started. The African immigrant community is a recent immigrant community. Probably the most recent.
Yes.
You have the Irish, the Germans, what have you, the Jews, all coming in different time period in Americans' life. When people come, they go through similar challenges that the Africans are experiencing. It's no new. When you study the history of immigration to America, it's the same. Over time, right now, the Irish are dominating Boston. It's because they've been here for much longer.
Centuries.
Yeah. But when you are new as a community, you are not well connected with the bigger society.
Yeah.
And what happens is, if America immigration, you rely solely on your host.
True.
So
True.
your rise and fall relies on
your hosts.
And most of the hosts are also recent immigrants.
Exactly.
So how much they know is as limited as you who is looking for help.
Very true.
So
well
they
put.
tell you what they know and they put their own limitations on you.
Yeah.
So that is the crux of the challenge here we are about to dive into.
Uh-huh.
So this gentleman, long story short, I said, you know what? I want to have more conversation with you. We exchanged phone numbers. Long story short, I was able to connect him with other people who are exploring engineers. They are engineers already.
Wow.
And what I was trying to do for this gentleman is, if he wants to turn around and go back and do nursing, the universities will ask him to do prerequisite.
Correct.
In biology, maths, English, as if he has never studied in English.
You name it.
They will let you do all those prerequisites 2 years before you even get a chance to start studying nursing. Only to find out that when you are done, maybe you are not even cut as a nurse.
Wow. There we go.
And the whole time he is a engineer.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And then what it took for this guy was 2 years of graduate school, and he have a graduate degree in engineering. That is all you needed.
That's it.
That is all you needed.
That's it.
So what happened after that? I was beginning to meet more people in similar situations, and I was helping in my own way. Then it dawned on me, this seems to be rampant. It's like it's all over the place. So I said, let me start looking into this. I am trained as a land use planner, so I like planning. So
Okay.
I started looking at research. What is going on? I came across a research put together by the Pew Charitable Trust. This is the title: The African Immigrant Community, Highly Educated but Fell Poorly in the Job Market. And the statistics goes like more than half of African immigrants coming in have at least a first degree coming in.
Very true.
Probably one of the most educated
We are.
immigrants.
We are.
Yeah. Well, not to start war, but
It's the truth.
the African immigrants holds more degrees than Native Americans.
Oh, we're fluent in English, most of us.
Most of us.
We're fluent in English.
Most of us.
The work ethic is bar none outside of this world. And the curriculum we learn in Africa, you know that curriculum.
It's rigorous.
It's rigorous as it gets. Yes.
It's rigorous.
Yeah.
The training is rigorous.
Yes.
It's rigorous. So what happened then is you have people who are coming in with degree, and when we leave the continent, there's a term that is controversial called brain drain.
And that's a term that I love. Brain drain. But then you taught me another one.
Right, yeah, that's where we go. When the brain leave the continent and we are crying about brain drain, when they get here, they end up in places or they get employed in places that underutilize their capacity and their brain power, which we term brain waste.
Brain waste. I've never heard of that term until I met you.
The brain drain become brain
Wastes.
when we get to America. And what ABN is trying to solve is reducing the high rate of brain drain, starting with the African community. That is how it started. In
Helping
2000.
African immigrants reach their full potential.
Correct.
Man, that is amazing. And so you started off with that one vision. What year was this?
So we started the planning in 2013. Took us 2 years researching, surveying our network, surveying the community. 2015, the beginning of 2015, we put together different African leaders because what we wanted to do was not to represent one African country.
Okay.
For a reason. Because just one African country, the base is not big enough.
Very true.
So we wanted to do the whole Africa. That means you want to hear from as many people as you can. So we pull people together in a room. We presented what we have able to figure out. They gave us feedback. And I remember June 2015, we launched African Bridge Network of about 120 people in a room.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And how many countries in our beautiful continent have you been able to work with thus far?
So far, maybe 21.
Wow.
21. Yeah.
Wow.
21.
Amazing strides. You're hitting it right here, Africa Diaspora Connect. You know, the African unity is working and doing well. Co-founder here, executive chair of an amazing organization. So let's talk about you guys at ABN. So what do you guys do? Like, what exactly your scope? I get it, but what do you do? There are different facets we spoke about. Can you amplify and just give us an overview of the kind of trends and things that you're doing to aid us Africans as we get into this diaspora?
Thank you. So let's stay with career development and the number of years individuals have stayed in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right. So the longer folks stay, the harder it becomes to change career.
Yeah.
When you are new, there are more doors open to you.
Yes.
So we have different programs that target different stages in individuals' life in the U.S. So starting with the first 3 years, people who've just arrived, we call them recent. It could last between 3 to 5. Sometimes people are still finding themselves. The first 5 years, we have what we call orientation workshop for skilled immigrants. What we do is we pull them together in a room, and then we talk about the difference between building a career and finding a job. Most of the advice they've been getting so far is finding a job. That will pay you $1 extra, $2 extra, right? But then we say, no, there's a difference in here. Studies has been done as to how immigrants build career. Honestly, it's not so much about building career, but it's recovering from the initial downgrade that every new immigrant experiences in this country. When you move in, you don't get to do the same level of job you were doing from the country you are coming from. You get downgraded.
Understood.
It's all about how do you begin to recover.
Yeah.
Statistics show that the African immigrants, it takes us more than 8 years to recover, whilst other immigrants, probably 3, 4, 5 years, they are done. So our situation was a bit dire. It was much more challenging.
It is.
Okay, so what we do is we have this orientation workshop. We pull people in. It is much more holistically. We don't only talk about career. We also talk about personal finance. We also talk about healthcare, education, other stuff that folks need. Because we realize you can't build career without taking care of other things. And our needs is not one-dimensional. We are being bombarded with different stuff. Not that we do all the talking. We invite other experts into the room, and they talk with them, and they give them the resources where you can go to find help. So that is the entry point of the work we do with individuals.
Understood.
After that, we invite them into what we call career advising sessions. One-on-one, we pair them with an advisor. Because there's one thing to just tell someone, this is a direction to New Hampshire, there you go.
Yeah.
When someone is new in the country, that is not good enough. Because when you are new, you don't even know what you don't know.
Very true.
And you have not walked that road before. So just giving them a road map, I can guarantee you they will still get lost.
It's a GPS to nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So what we do for them is we give them a guide, someone that works with them. Begin to sit down with them and say, let's look at what you used to do. How do we help you translate that into the U.S. labor market? Who are you now in U.S.?
Yeah.
Where is your starting point? Based on that, then we'll begin to revise their resume. All right? So the resume we bring in from another country is not what will work. That is why many of us will not get a job interview.
Very true.
Because the formatting is wrong.
We call them CV.
Yeah, we call it
Curriculum vitae.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It's totally different.
Right? Totally different.
Totally different.
So what we do is we understand, and I've been there before.
Yeah.
So no judgment. We come in with empathy, and my goal is to support them. So we help them resume review, cover letter, and then we begin to say, okay, now we figure out what does this person need. Either an extra credential to get him going, or maybe he's ready enough. We could start him somewhere, because we don't believe in keep going to school, keep going, because if you develop yourself outside an institution, sometimes it becomes difficult to get in.
Yeah.
I can give you so many examples. I have a doctor from Congo who came into the U.S. and he realized it is high bar to get to practice as a doctor in the U.S. So he decided to go into public health. He went back to graduate school to learn public health. When he came out of graduate school, he could not still find a job because he got it wrong whilst he was trying to do that. I have had people with engineering background going back to graduate school and still get it wrong. So what we do, because where they get it wrong is when they come out of all the education, they still don't have U.S. working experience.
And I'll tell you this, in my line of work, talent acquisition, I have a lot of really amazing resumes from the motherland.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'll say something, the bias in this U.S. of A. is out of this world. All right? If they don't see an American something, either academic or work experience, they won't look at it. And I used to push back to the hiring managers. They're like, man, listen, this is not going to work because there's nothing American on that resume. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. Yeah. And that's just how the system does work.
That is the way it works. And the justification is the recruiter cannot verify the education of this person because it's not familiar with the institution or not familiar with the company that this person claims works. Yes, so what we also do, and I'm just going to jump, is that we engage employers. So we have an employer council that advises us and we educate them about the value of the foreign trained professional. The fact that you don't recognize the university does not mean they don't got anything. Look at me. I made it. If you hire me, I'll be a roster for you.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
So part of our work is that advocacy to begin to. So in Boston, all the major healthcare employers are our partners.
Wow.
We meet with them quarterly to talk about issue about how do you employ foreign.
When you say healthcare, give me an example. Like which ones?
Children's.
Children's, okay.
Yeah. Mass General Brigham, they changed their name. But Israel.
Wow.
Atrios Healthcare. We work with all of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, demographics, right? What's the average age of this immigrant who's coming in from the motherland? What are you seeing? What's the average age of this individual?
Since we're talking about professionals,
Yeah.
for us,
Yeah.
it's mostly people who have at least a degree. So they are much more, you're looking at 25 years going all the way to 40.
Understood.
Yeah, all the way to 40. But I'm going to circle back a little bit to your first question, what exactly we do. Beyond the career advising, we have a mentoring program. It's a 1-year mentoring program. We pair individuals with an experienced professional in the field that they want to go into. And they work with them for a whole year. When they are done, the mentee walks away with a 5-year career development plan, which is like a blueprint as to how you build your career.
Wow.
When people come in, their first advisee is their host, and it's natural. But when we touch them, the advisee is no longer their host.
Yeah.
It's someone who is where they want to go.
Aspire. If you want to go somewhere, you better talk to someone who's already been there, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And mentoring is a proven concept in building career. Nobody goes to the top without a mentor or a sponsor.
Understood. How about stuff with the mentoring? This is amazing. One of the challenges that I've had, and I do my own thing on the side, especially when I'm hiring my African brothers, is our culture. We are very, I won't say submissive, but we don't have that go get it, assertive personality. And that is something that I know influences a lot of us. What do you do? How do you teach these soft skills and how you can be more assertive and more dominant without coming across as someone who's trying to show off? Because your typical American is loud and just, they know it all. And we always, even our mentality, we put our hands behind our backs as we talk. So how do you go about some of these challenges?
So in our orientation workshop, there's a session I personally do called the American Perspective. What I do there is that I show recent immigrants how Americans look at the world. For instance, how Americans look at time. Okay. Americans are forward-looking. Yeah. They are always thinking about plans for tomorrow, next year, next month. Africans tend to be backward, not backward, I don't want to use the word backward, but we look back. We honor the back, right? That is why when someone passes away, we want to go an extra mile to honor that person. American might say, why spending that all money on a dead person? Put it towards your child education fund. There's a reason why us Africans do that. We honor our ancestors. We believe in the past. We honor the past.
I've never thought about it that way. Amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Anytime I explain this thing, even the white audience in the group is like, nobody have described as the way
I have it personally.
But there is something I do. Once you understand your perspective, it puts you in a position to explain yourself why you do things differently than the other person. Not that yours is inferior, yours is different. And the person that have a different orientation is much more flexible. He can switch course in 2 dimensions. He can operate with the American perspective and as well as operate with the African perspective. Much more dynamic. He can maneuver the situation better than someone who operates with a single perspective. Once you begin to break it out for our people that way, that what they bring to the table is unique and not inferior, what you're doing is you begin to empower our brothers and sisters.
Empowerment.
Thank you.
That's key, man. How does ABN sustain itself?
It's amazing. When we started, $0.
It's like this podcast.
$0. No foundation money. No foundation money. But there's a proverb in the Akan language. They say, if you climb a good tree, you get a push.
If you climb a good tree, you get a push. Okay.
Ufru diapa ni piao.
Ufru diapa?
Any piao. If you climb a good tree, you get a push. Where am I going?
Where you going?
When you are on a worthy cause, people come around and support you.
All right.
Just like any non-profit 501c3, we are supported at this point by grants and individual donations. That is how we support ourselves.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You actually gave me an example when we first spoke. Something to do with, was it food stamps, ABT? What was it?
Yeah. So
that was amazing.
So that is what you're diving into is the work we did last year around COVID.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, right, it was new to everyone, and every organization was wondering, how is this going to impact us, right? So we do some work with Africans in the human service industry. I know we will get there. But then we get the feedback that they were concerned about their personal protection as they go to the nursing home, the group home, the assisted living. The PPEs at that time was scarce.
Yeah.
So they were being asked to work with less supply.
Yeah.
So they let us know that is their concern. Then I said, well, maybe that is what we have to do. But my approach has always been, don't go alone, because there are other leaders within the community.
Yeah.
So we were able to pull 18 other African leaders from Boston to Springfield together. And then we formed the African Community Response to COVID.
Okay.
All right? Wow. And then when we started, the main concern was the PPEs. So from our own coffers, we started buying the cloth mat. And this is what we did. We got a Nigerian sister using the African fabric, begin to sew the cloth mat. And it became a hit.
Wow.
It became a hit. So we put it on Facebook, and what we were doing, people can request 3 per request, and we will mail it to them free of charge.
Okay.
Free of charge. We were able to do 1,500 of them, and then City of Boston realized what we were doing. They gave us 500 masks to give out. So we were able to do more. Then we said, no, masks is not enough. We need more. So the next thing that people were telling us was food, because some were losing their job.
Yeah.
So food became an issue. We were able to secure funds. At the end of the day, we have given out $100 grocery gift card. We've given out a worth of $75,000 of $100 grocery gift card to members of the African community in Massachusetts. Not only from African Bridge Network, but we made it a point that we work with the leaders. So we create flyers for each leader, brand it to their organization, so that they give it to their members. The members know it's coming from them, not African Bridge Network. But we were at the back end doing all the mailing of the gift card to their members. We got the opportunity to also partner with African grocery shops, because we realized, why don't you circulate the money a little bit, right? Why do you just send it out of the community? So we partner with grocery shop in Boston, Worcester, who gave us the gift card, and then we'll mail it to folks in the community, and they will take the gift card, go shop in those African grocery shops.
Wow. In Worcester, I think the Ghanaian community by far is the largest one. I think Worcester is Little Accra. I think Worcester Worcester has a lot of dominance from that perspective. Folks, we're hearing it here, African unity at work in and of itself. So we touched on also healthcare when we first spoke, and you actually got me thinking about the whole healthcare component. Can you extrapolate and tell us, I can't quite remember the discussion, but how was healthcare oriented? Can you walk us into that?
So I want to believe you're talking about the human service
industry. Human services, yes.
So the human service industry is one of the major employers of African talent that we have right now. Right? And any African would tell you they know someone who was in the group home, assisted living, what have you, all over the place. But then what happened is, for some way, somehow, right, our brothers and sisters who work in these places are mostly at the entry-level direct care position. Despite their degrees, despite their capacity, Some of them are eager to rise, but for some way, somehow, they are all stuck at the entry level. So when you look at the whole...
that is brainwaves right there, right?
there you go. But
Yeah.
we have another name for that.
Oh,
You
okay.
want to hear?
Well, let's hear it.
It's called Untapped Talent.
Untapped talent.
And that is a project on its own. Right now, we are engaging the whole industry in Massachusetts. And we're saying, look, you already, one, depend on this talent,
Yeah.
right? The African immigrants, to be specific. Two, you have potential there. Some of them are smart as anything. But yet still, the brain is still going waste because they are in places that is underutilizing their potential. How about we have a conversation on how do we begin to support these individuals to grow? Because some of these places at the bottom is all black, and as you go up, it becomes pale.
Yeah.
Right? It becomes pale. So how about we diversify a little bit, right? How about we do more than what we're doing now? So luckily, again, when you climb a good tree, you get support. Some of the agencies in this industry are working with us. Last 2 years, we got Simmons University to do a study. Not that we didn't know the issues, but these people, the talk that they hear is book and statistics and data. So we got an university to do a study, put their stamp on it, say, these are the issues, this is the foundation, this is the starting point.
Yeah.
So now we've laid the starting point, and then what we're doing now is we're beginning to work with the agencies one-on-one to begin to map out the pathways. Yes, there are some issues of institutional racism and what have you. You know, racism have permeated every part of our culture.
It has.
So no place is immune.
Yeah.
So we're beginning to look at some of these things, the treatment to our brothers and sisters in those places. So it's a project that I believe every African should rally around. Because again, when you start in a journey, you start from a place. You build it up, you get a track record, and you begin to say, where else is the Africans? And how do we support their leadership development?
Wow, this is truly amazing. As we start to wind down, I have a request and a favor. I'm trying to reach out to some corporate brothers and sisters who have broken this glass ceiling and are doing amazing things in corporate America. People that look like us, people that come from our continent, our beautiful continent. And that is something I'd love to talk to you about. And you tell Seydou Soumani, you tell Seydou, my brother Seydou, he needs to be on this show because I need to target him. But that is a network I'd love to target. Bring some heavy lifters in here and let the world see what we're all about. You know, and I think you have that kind of a market that I'd love to really tap into. Any passing, anything you'd like to add on before we wind down, my brother? Anything that you'd like to volunteer and talk about?
So first of all, I want to say thank you for sharing your platform with us
thank
today.
you. Thank you.
So when I show up, I don't show up alone. I show up representing all the volunteers. We have 21 volunteers who do different things to make African Bridge Network run. As I'm talking to you, there's a group already meeting, discussing the clients that they've been working with. They are all volunteers that we've trained, delivering the service at the highest possible standard. So on their behalf, I want to say thank you. Why I started African Bridge Network was that I realized the need was there. But it doesn't have to be someone have to know Emmanuel before they get help. And I also recognize there were more people out there who are saying, I wish there was something like this when I came to the U.S.
Seriously.
All right, and they want to help. So what we are doing, our mission is building a supportive community. And that's what I want to leave with our audience today, that this is a community. It's not really about Emmanuel, but it's about that community that we're building to support the African immigrants to build their career and their potential in the U.S. And there's room for all of us. There's so much room for everyone
There truly
to be
is.
part of it.
In parting, thank you so much. I'd like to thank once again my man Sam Thugi, who once again, Sam, I think I owe you a cup of coffee someday. You've been doing ADC a lot of justice. So Sam Thugi and his wife actually got me to talk about you. We had an amazing show here talking about the ABC program, A Better Chance, about a month ago, and it's doing amazing things. Africa Diaspora Connect, we're hearing it out right here. This is the African Unity coming at you up close and personal. All right, let's lift as we climb. Let us lift as we climb. I'm your host, Kibathi Gaturu, saying I'll catch you on the next episode. Emmanuel Owusu, Mr. Owusu, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.